Welcome everyone to the fifth iteration of the FSL Wild Rift Open, powered by Intel and Yahoo. My name is Infinity, and together with me is Dash. And Dash, it's been a long while since we've last casted a game, and now we're here for FSL.
Actually, I'm excited to see how these ladies would be able to fight against each other. Especially, we had the recent patch 3.5, so there's a lot of changes, a lot of adaptations that our players are going to be doing. And Infinity, like what you said, it's been a long while, and I kind of miss casting with you. But now, I'm excited to see how they're going to be playing together today.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So before we jump into the series, before we jump into the games, let's actually look at the brackets here for FSL Wild Rift Open 5. Who's the
Mm-hmm.
teams, what are the teams doing, and who's on the upper bracket and in the lower bracket, Dash.
Ooh, interesting. We have Chasing Dreams Pikachu D35 MXH Lotus Ladies in the lower round one. We do have MDH Esports Sharper, No Name, and Roy Esports Ladies. And what we're gonna be watching for today on our stream is gonna be the last one there on our bracket, No Name versus Roy Esports Ladies.
Yeah, and this is a best of 3 series, so it's a race to 2 wins for this matchup that we have on No Name versus Roy Esports Ladies. And Dash,
Mhm.
I'm excited. This is No Name and Roy Esports Ladies. We've all known Roy Esports in
Yeah.
season 3 of the FSL Wild Rift Open, wherein they came in second place. And now the question is, can they reach that far once again?
Yeah, some of them, especially on the other side too, because this is our both Vietnam teams. We have a full Vietnam roster on both sides, so this is gonna be like a civil war for them. But here we do have a lot of players that almost is the first time taking part in the FSL on the side of No Names. So will their inexperience rather be a hinder to them, or would that give them power? That is what I want to see, because Roy Esports Ladies have been here since Open 1, so they're very experienced against all of the teams here in the FSL.
Yeah, although what I'm fearful for is that No Name and Roy actually already met in the upper brackets, where
Yeah.
in No Name won 2-0 up against Roy Esports Lady. So the question is, can Roy Esports change this pathway or change this history that they've met before and defeat No Name in the series in the lower bracket? Are there going to be changes in this series today? But Dash, as you've stated a while ago, patch 3.5 has recently been released
Mhm.
for League of
Yeah.
Legends Wild Rift. Are there anything we need to expect in this new patch?
Honestly, we have seen a lot of our players on the WCAO2. A lot of the meta is being defined by them, and what I like about that meta is that Yone and Gwen are still in on the top. When it comes to the banning, when it comes to the picking, they're always going to be on top, and something that I would look forward to every time. I was a non-believer of this champion before, but I am now a believer of Ziggs, and Ziggs has
Mm-hmm.
been very strong during the last parts of the tournament for WCAO. So I'm expecting the same thing here in the FSL Wild Rift Open 5.
Yeah,
What
and it's
about you?
crazy how the meta has evolved, how champions have evolved all throughout
Yeah,
patches, and just recently, like Ziggs wasn't in the meta per se. There were
yeah,
ADCs coming into the Rift, rather more
yeah.
priority for these teams. And now, as you've
hmm
stated, Ziggs is a really good champion, is an evergreen champion to pick up because of the damage
Every time.
capacity of this champion.
Yep.
So really amazing. As you've stated, I'm looking forward to these champions as well. And what I'm looking into are the picks and bans. We're now here for
Ooh.
game number 1, series number 1, No Name versus Roy Esports Ladies.
Yeah. And we have the bands coming in together already, Infinity. And like what we said, it's almost the same bands here, but I like the fact that they have been focusing. Look at how Roy Esports Ladies are been focusing bans on the support. Nautilus and Galio, without that, that is going to be. This forced them to use the Gragas, because at least now, without the others, they can use this. But Karma is still up, so I think that is a potential pick here for Roy.
Yeah, that could be picked up by Roy Esports Ladies. Karma right now is very strong when it comes to utility. You have shields, you have extra movement speed for your team, and you also have Tether and the ultimate that could CC lock enemy champions. So
Hmm.
that is an option for Roy Esports
Hmm.
Ladies. And as you've mentioned, I like the Gragas first pick here from No Name a while back because of the flexibility it provides for the whole draft on this team.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that nobody picked the Yone first pick. because
Right.
Yone is available and nobody has been picking Yone. I was expecting them to go for the Yone first pick at least, but it's understandable that No Name went in for the Gragas because they don't have a lot of support options. But without, at least the Yone would be very helpful on this composition, because at least Yone late game really strong. The investment that they need here would be great, and picking up the Shyvana is okay, because what they want to do here from Roy is that they want a lot of damage.
Yeah, and they're looking to go for mid to late game. They have Shyvana that could scale really well towards the end of this matchup or the end of this game. But for No Name though, they're locking onto Lee Sin, they're locking onto Vex. That states a signal that maybe they're going for early mid game.
Interesting. You don't see a lot of Vex during the last any of the last community of the last tournaments, and I'm really surprised that they went in for it, because with the Vex onto the bot lane against Lucian, it's a really hard matchup. Because yes, Lucian has a lot of dashes, the passive would be up a lot longer, but the problem with the Vex is that Vex doesn't deal a lot of damage, doesn't have a lot of wave clear until the mid points of the game.
Yeah, and that is something that we have to look forward to. Like, how would this Vex play it out all throughout the game with Lee Sin into the draft as well? They're going in for more of a balanced type of scenario. You have sort of the early game champions, the mid game champions. So, what would be the route that No Name is going to take for this draft? And so far, as we've expected, Karma was open a while ago. Roy Esports is gonna lock it in. And now when it comes to bans, they're banning away Caitlyn, they're banning away Ezreal up against No Name. And on the other hand, you have Darius removed by No Name.
A Garen or Renekton isn't a bad pick for Roy on this side, because if they are needing someone who could potentially control the fight for them because they won't have enough damage, but I'm looking to the point that Roy Esports ladies need more CC, because they have a lot of damage already with Illusion and Shyvana. The CC would just help probably wrap things up for this team.
Yeah, CC, crowd control, something we need to look forward to now, Roy Esports ladies. For the fourth pick, who is it going to be? Because Ziggs has been banned, has been removed in this draft for both teams.
Interesting. A good
No way!
answer there was the Ziggs ban, because they picked up the Vex. But I'm surprised, Infinity, because with the Seraphine, I'm not pretty sure what they want to go for here. With the Seraphine and the Karma, yes, they have some CC. The Transcendent Embrace of the Encore is great, but who's gonna help out Shyvana? They need someone to help out Shyvana in front.
Yeah, look at the Baron lane. This is something that they're missing so far, because having a Karma Seraphine doesn't really shout damage in the late game. They're going in for more of a funnel because they have Shyvana. They have this champion that could really carry the whole team, and I think that is what they're pivoting for this draft in this game one.
Honestly, Infinity, Garen could have been great if it was the fourth pick for the side of Roy Esports, then pick something else as a support, or rather as a mid laner, because they would really need someone to hold the bars for Shyvana too. But with the Garen, they're both running in. Yes, they have some movement speed and some sustain from the Seraphine and Karma. That's great. I hope that they would be able to pull this off. But on the other side, it's way more... I can see that this is way more balanced. No Name, this composition is way more balanced because they have the balance of CC and they have the investment of late game with the Corki.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you're looking for. You're looking for CC. They lock it onto Braum, especially when you're considering that the enemy team has Shyvana, has Garen. These are melee champions, and Braum would be so significant to pop off the passives of Braum, especially with the Corki in their draft.
Yeah. I hope that this Corki would be able to pop off, because honestly, with their composition, without a lot of dashes on the side of Roy Esports ladies, whenever the package is up, it would be hard for them to get close to the members of No Name. That's why I think this pick for the Braum and also the Corki is such a great one for them, because they know they would be able to zone out the members right there of Roy Esports.
All right, we are almost there for game number one, Dash. I'm excited. This is the first game broadcasted for FSL Wild Rift Open 5. Of course, thank you very much once again to Intel and Yahoo for powering this tournament. And Dash, what are we looking at from early game, mid game from both these teams?
I can see that the early game would be really on the hands of No Name. What's great about their composition is that they have the Lee Sin, and they don't really need a lot of item breakpoints for them to be relevant. So that is something to look forward to for the side of No Name. But Roy Esports, they would need a lot of items in order for them to deal the damage that they would need to. Yes, the Garen is there, but Shyvana and the Illusion is the bigger chunk of the damage, and they need at least at least two items for them to have that.
All right, so expectations, no name, early game. And as for Roy, we're looking at mid game, late game for this team for Giovanna to be able to scale. And so far, we're seeing a similar type of scenario from what we've seen in the past in patch 3.4, now transitioning into patch 3.5, wherein the support is going elsewhere. The support is roaming around the map, and the ADC is standalone in the bottom lane, just farming on lanes, farming experience and gold.
Yeah. With their farms, they would be needing it for the side of Roy Esports. Here, they just need to stall the game if they want to win this, because having two utility, or rather having two utility supports and two DPS, they would need to farm a lot in order for them to get that. But if they would be able to, that would be great for Roy. But No Name, they will just need to hold on to the early game. The first objective is when they would dominate.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Rift Herald could be expected for No Name to want to finish this game very early on, but in an individual matchup, Dash, in Illusion versus Corki matchup, how would that look like later on?
Working the late game is way stronger, because remember, just because of the sheer damage and also magic damage from the Corki would be pretty nice, but the Lucian early to mid game would be a pretty easy matchup for the Lucian. The hero, we're going for a fight.
Decent, going to go through. The smite is there. The steal will be locked in, but Roy Esports looking to go for the respawn, but will not pull through as No Name just gets the blue buff on Sky.
Nice shield from No Name. 21. The reason why they were able to survive there, and they were able to steal it too. That is what you need whenever you're fighting against a Shyvana. Try to make sure that their jungling facing is not going to be pretty easy to do.
Yeah, and so far Lee Sin has been proving like the early game dominance of No Name. This is what we've talked about a while ago, how No Name's power in this early matchup would be so prevalent. And as a Shyvana, you really want to go in and farm heavily early on, heavily in mid game as well, to be able to get those items that you've talked about, that.
But they will be able to reach those item breakpoints. The only thing that they need to wait for here for the side of No Name is going to be the Corki. So they need to wait for the Corki to get the items that they need. But here, on the side of Roy, what they need is for them to at least hold on. Fight back when they can, because Delusion is something that they would need, because the first item for Delusion is also important. So on the first objective, their ultimates are going to be big, and they need to make sure that they would be able to hit them.
Yeah, those CCs coming in from Shyvana, from Seraphine, from Karma for Roy Esports ladies. And as for No Name, they have Braum, they have Gragas and Vex. So pretty much these are a lot of team fight ultimates that they could use later on. But Lee Sin, once again, very aggressive playstyle. They're going through 1v1 up against Shyvana, but Garen uses the flash, silence onto Lee Sin, uses up the ultimate from Shyvana as well. But now they come back with Vex going in for the fear onto Shyvana. Oh, that might be taking him down, but not enough. No kills secured.
Yeah, they're still not done with the fight, but Roy would still want to take this red buff, but what they don't know, though, Zunisha, I think this is too close.
Absolutely. Although no ultimate's ready for Zunisha, so that would be a no-go for Roy Esports ladies. And No Name once again just goes for the jungle invade without any trades from Roy.
With this, what we're starting off for No Name, they are really confident that they would be able to take the members of Roy, especially on this fight where they do have the advantage, because Roy at this point don't have the ultimate. Dragon's Descent isn't up for Legon, so they need to wait for that to come up before they fight against the objective.
Yeah, and it's gonna take time. It's 4 minutes and 30 seconds already on the clock. Mountain Drake and Rift Herald will spawn up soon. And this is going to be disgusting if we don't see those ultimates ready, especially when it comes to team fight, wherein all of these things are significant.
Yeah. with this 15 seconds, seeing the priority. Most of the teams have been prioritizing the Rift Herald a lot because they don't want the pressure around the map more rather than the extra stats that most of these dragons give. And considering that it's a Mountain Drake too, it's really hard to take it down pretty fast. So Rift Herald, with the timing right, Roy eSports ladies are placed well on this fight.
Yeah, and there we go. The tether is there. The root locks in onto Brom, forces out the flash over the wall. And now 21 is in danger. Very low HP state. But Roy eSports ladies is just playing dance against No Name.
Rift Herald, low on HP. No Name still just pulling it back. They do have some vision on this part of the map. That's why Roy eSports ladies haven't been pushing forward. And they know, they respect the members right here of No
Look
Name
at the mid
because of
lane,
the damage that they can give, but they're taking the tower in the mid lane, as you said.
Forcing out the culling to clear out the waves. No ultimates for Lucian for the foreseeable future so far. The root is there. Dragon's Rage.
Oh,
Dragon's
Dragon's
onto
Rage,
Zanisha in the back. But Vex will not connect the ultimate. And now Brom, Vicious Fisher onto Karma. Knockoff is there. Forcing out the flash. The Sin is in danger. Very low. Shyvana uses up the Dragon's Descent into the fight. And now Brom is 1 HP. Uses up the flash. Secures it.
20.
But Legon will be traded. And 20 gets the kill.
That's a 1-for-1, and that's gonna be a good start for Roy eSports ladies. They needed to get that kill. The aggression from Legon almost got them too. But we've seen there how Roy eSports ladies play this fight. No Name needs to be careful because the spacing that Roy eSports ladies are scary. So right now, they can still fight for this next objective.
Yeah, although you don't have ultimate for Legon, you don't have ultimate for Zanisha, no ultimate for Cat as well. So when it comes to objective taking, No Name has the advantage.
Now, especially Legon positioned pretty well. Mountain Drake is the one that the members of No Name are starting. And because they caught wind of that, I think they won't be able to chase this except if they would be able to stop with 18.
They could trade, they could get killed. They could potentially go for it. The fear is there onto Cat, but opt to go back. Not gonna pull through. No all-in from Roy.
The Shadow Surge push up from 23. I think that is an angle for No Name to go in. But because it's really fast, remember, it's a Shyvana we're talking about. Shyvana has a really great clear compared to the Lee Sin. So that's why 22 tried to pressure as fast as she could during the early game. But right now, looking at the gold, we know that Legon is gaining the advantage compared to No Name.
Yeah, and you talked about a while ago, the first item of Lucian is going to be very important. And now Nyx bought in onto Maramune. Is that going to be significant here?
Yeah. Interesting, they went for the Manamune for Nyx. Because with the Manamune and the Kraken Slayer, yes, they would have tons of damage. And considering that Kraken Slayer also scales, this must be pretty nice. I hope this is a good direction because I was expecting a lot more crit from Nyx.
And that's also the same expectations that I had. This is going to be interesting. I think Roy eSports is heavily relying on towards the mid-game, late game type of scenario because the Manamune scales pretty well towards building up that damage later on so you could deal a lot of skills in a short amount of time. But right now, in the mid lane, just a 3-man roam for No Name, and Roy eSports ladies is scared to defend.
Just want to start this off. If ever this build, like what we were talking about a while ago, Infinity, if they're going to be transitioning back to at least a Blade of the Ruined King, the Black Cleaver, and more flat damage for Nyx, I think this would be good overall, just because they don't really have a lot of frontline from No Name, so gaining the flat damage is also going to be important for them.
Alright, we'll see though. The root is there onto 23.
Ooh, that damage.
Yeah, from a second, you already have half HP damage onto Vex, and that's not looking that great.
Yeah. I hope this would be a good direction for No Name, especially because right now without the tower on the top side, Rift Herald has been popped already. They need to take down a tower somewhere else. But because of the fact that they have a lot of wave clear from Zanisha and Cat, it would be a really hard way to go for. So No Name needs to be careful. I forgot to point that out, Infinity. They don't have a lot of wave clear onto 20. So that's why they're going to the bot lane.
Oh, they're going for this fight. Shyvana uses Dragon's Descent onto the backside. Kills on 21. He's in. comes to respond, but it's too late. But they're going back in. The Dragon's Rage under the turret, but Legan uses the flash in the brink of time. Will be able to save herself. That is a 1-for-0 trade.
Good thing that Legon did have the flash during that time. They needed that flash, and they weren't able to get it in the end. And now, Roy Esports ladies, this is looking like their game because they have been pretty safe. 10 minutes in the game, and we only have 3 kills overall. This is not looking good for No Name.
Yeah, Roy Esports is here to change history. Yes, you've defeated us in the upper bracket 2-0, but now we're here to dominate. And so far, the confidence with these ladies are so much in this game 1.
They are really confident. Roy Esports, they just need to take this next Rift Herald. With the way that Legon is built right now, I think she can just tank a lot of this damage from their members. So No Name needs to be careful right now. 20 doesn't have the items, and even with the Rapid and Stat Cup on 23, we need to see a big Shadow Surge, or at least a great start for them to go for the fight. The personal space is a key on how they're going to be starting this.
No Name can't contest this. 22 is back into the base, and Roy Esports ADs is going quick on the Rift Herald. They secure it uncontested. Yeah.
They backed away, tried to reset before they started the fight, and that's not a good decision, especially if you're fighting against Legon.
It's a dream.
Always ready. Great hold. What?
Oh, that was scary. Zanisha,
yeah.
If they used up the ultimate, the encore,
yeah,
that could have been a triple.
Yeah, could have been a kill. The encore could have hit them, the 3 of them, but they weren't aware that that's gonna happen. That's why they were also surprised, and also no vision on that part of the map. Infinity, that's why they played it safe.
Yeah, didn't have information on the brush, which means there is such a huge risk into going for an all-in. But right now, Roy Esports ladies is going for a dance up against No Name once again. Ocean Drake is alive. No Name has information. They have a ward into the Dragon's Pit.
21 used heal. They don't have a heal. They can start this fight anytime they want to, Infinity.
Yeah, and they're going in for the redemption and chat for Roy Esports ADs to get back up their HP. But once again, Roy pivoting themselves into the mid lane, looking for that tier 1 turret with the Rift Herald there. This could be easy. This could be quick.
Yeah, they don't need anything else. The Rift Herald won't be able to hit. And even if they take down the bot lane turret, that's 2 towers in the mid lane if ever they need to.
Yeah, absolutely. And the value of the mid lane is just so much compared to the side lanes. And Roy Esports ladies has secured 2 turrets immediately in quick succession. And even then, Rift Herald gets to charge onto the inhib turret.
No, Roy Esports, they're taking this fight pretty seriously, and they want to go for more. This is going to be the Ocean Drake fight, but look at the backline, Infinity.
Yeah, they're going for all in. Body slam onto Cat. He just up the flash, explosive gas, but the backlines, as you stated, Lee Sin is there to disrupt Roy Esports ladies, and now that's already a 2 kill onto No Name. They make it 3, and Zanisha is down, but Nick's the only one alive. No Name turns things around.
They lost their tower, and they weren't expecting that to happen. No Name, they didn't have vision in the blue buff. That's why they were able to get a great Dragon's Rage from 22. They were patient, even if they gave their tower in the mid lane. That was a big fight that they needed to win.
Yeah, and even then, Roy Esports ladies actually have a huge injection of gold, but we have the 4 kills. We had the Ocean Drake, and now you're in danger because we're stacking on our buffs. We're stacking on those kills.
Yeah, package is up. I hope they would find a kill or a fight here onto the hands of No Name, because this is a big thing that they got, and they need to find something with the package. But I think they're going for the top lane just for them to zone out the members of Roy Esports.
Could potentially be. I mean, they have a format roam on top side, looking heavily on that top lane, and removing on those visions are going to be very important, especially at this point in time. 14 minutes into the game, you have Baron Nashor alive. Those minute changes and those minute mistakes can change the whole game.
With that, we're starting. Roy Esports ladies, they need to go for this fight if ever they want to. But with what we're seeing right now from No Name, I do hope that we see a lot more of those. But with the towers down in the mid lane, this just gives Roy Esports ladies the opportunity. And if we think about it, what they did a while ago, even if they lost a dragon, it's okay because they have the space that they need in the mid lane.
Yeah, absolutely right. Esports League, once again, defending into the mid lane, no name, having huge pressure. Look at 22, though,
No
going in
vision
for the
again.
Dragon's Rage! Sonic Wave gets the hit onto Cat, and Redemption's end chat, giving a lot of
Oh, Shadow
sustainability, but
Shirts!
Vex just jumps in to the backside! They get the kill, Stasis end chat to buy time, but that is just a statement of that. It's a 1-for-1 trade.
Is that a word? They went in just for them to get the kill with a Shadow Surge, but I thought they would be able to push a tower right there. That is like, the value has been cancelled, kill. And now on to the side, No Name still grasping Trust. They want to get some towers, but right now they still can't because the amount of wave clear that Roy has is just so large.
Yeah, and I agree with you. It's questionable when it comes to value, right? Because it is a mid laner traded for a support. Is that valuable? Is that important? We'll see, because so far I'm not looking into that. But I have a quick question, Dash. A while ago, we talked about the late game. We talked about Shyvana towards the late game for eSports ladies that could carry the team. And as for No Name, you talked about Corki, who would scale very well towards that late game.
Yeah.
Who are we looking at in this stage in 16 minutes? Who's going to be the better team? Who's going to be the better champion at this point in time?
Right now, if we're gonna be looking at the items Infinity, I think Legon has reached their item breakpoint already. So this is when we'll see more of the Shyvana. Because remember, Shyvana also scales throughout the game with her passive. So that is when most of her damage is just gonna be too much for No Name to handle. And considering, yes, they have 3 melee champions, which are easy targets for Legon, I believe that Shyvana would be the better champion here.
Alright, we're looking at Legum right now. 22 jumping through. The Encore is there. A charm. Followed up by the root, but Vex comes in to the backside. No fear though. Now Shyvana just jumped over the wall. Nyx going for the culling, but it's not enough to pin down. Coming in from No Name. They lost 21, and Roy is on the precipice of success in this team fight. They get the triple already, and No Name has 23 and 18 left. But those two members will not suffice, as Roy eSports ladies still have their junglers up.
Roy wants to take this revenge, and they are taking it right now with that game. 2k gold lead. Yes, this is not that big, but we can definitely say that they have the advantage. They have the Baron, and they have the towers down. They can take anything they want against No Name, and No Name wouldn't be able to answer back.
And this is looking quite scary, Dash. No Name has inhib turret left in the middle lane, and Roy eSports ladies is there to have all turrets left aside from the bottom lane, wherein they have lost 1 turret. So this is not looking that great for No Name.
Yeah, No Name really struggling right now when it comes to that department, and I can see that Roy eSports ladies would really need to make sure that this game is gonna be theirs, because they have this tower down, they have the hull breaker onto the Garen. It would be an easy tower takedown, and even their Infernal Drake is up. They just need to deny it against No Name, but with the space that they have Infinity, this is gonna be an easy take for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Roy eSports ladies, Shyvana at this point in time, really strong, along with Nyx. They could duo the Infernal Drake, and that could be easy, and No Name would have so much difficulty, because if you're looking at the map, you have Baron, who's pushing on top, but still, No Name gets the steal on the Infernal Drake. 22, what a play.
What a great play from 22. Time and time again, but whoa, top lane.
Garen is in danger, going for the 2v1. They still get the kill, the outplay from Garen. They still get the trade in.
Woohoo! Did much injustice, but they're not done just yet.
Encore charms onto Lee Sin, follows up by the Glacial Fisher, knock up onto Zanisha. But now 22 is in danger, has to dash away. Nyx going through with the passive, puts 20's HP at a very low state, and that red buff almost scratched 20's life, but still the stasis and just bought time, bought him a second chance. But Roy eSports ladies know their capacity. They've already taken 2 inhib turrets, they're resetting.
Nyx at a pretty scary state. She deals so much damage. Just honestly, most of the time I've seen Nyx, she always just throws the culling, and that's enough value for the team, because almost all of the amount of AoEs that they have, Zanisha and Cat do deal more damage just because of the fact that they have been hitting their skills so much. And the problem with No Name is that they can really get close onto the backline of Rogue Esports ladies, because that amount of slows that these two do, Zunisha and Cat, it's just so hard to deal with.
Yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing right now though. Roy Esports Ladies is looking to go for ganks, looking to go for plays and pickoffs. And remember, No Name has 3 dragons in the bag. If they take Elder Drake, this is going to be their winning condition.
I hope this would be the chance, Infinity, because right now, look at this, Dragon's Descent.
Dragon, Dragon's Descent onto 20. That's the Dragon's Rage
Nice
over
flash.
the wall, but still secures the kill. And Corki is now down. The carry for No Name is gone. And Roy Esports Ladies is looking to pivot for the Elder Drake. Might potentially take it down.
Yeah, with that, they can take the Elder Drake, and they have it. Right now, Infinity, this is going to be easy for them to go for, because, you know, it's just Shyvana and Nyx, and they can just zone out the members, and I think 22 doesn't have the time.
Let's see though. Remember, the confidence on 22 is just
Ah,
off the charts.
no.
But Roy Esports Ladies going to secure the Elder Drake uncontested, with Garen and Karma going to be the zoner
Baron
of this
too?
team.
Yeah, they can take the Baron to Infinity, because right now, with Roy Esports Ladies and the state that they are in, with the Elder Drake, they can get away with taking the Baron, but they won't need it, because with the Elder Drake, you can just finish this game.
Absolutely, Roy Esports Ladies is looking to punish the last inhibitor alive for No Name. The bottom lane looking dangerous.
Oh,
the
the
root
whole-
is there onto 22. Brom goes in for the quick respond though. The Dragon's Rage double man knock up the Stasis enchant for Lee Sin. Buy some time, but Garen jumps through. The Mash and Justice secures the kill. Already a 2-man down for No Name. And Roy Esports Ladies secures the last inhibitor left. The Nexus is now open. 18 and 23. They're to
23?
defend, but they're gone. Their life is diminished.
Stasis?
And Roy Esports Ladies is looking to finish the game as they strike first in the lower bracket.
They got the win, and that is what they needed. And Roy Esports Ladies, yes, we said a while ago that No Name won against them, but right now they know the answer for No Name, and that is just the confidence that they had. Looking at the stats, we have seen Ligon just popping off during the whole game, and the amount of damage that they have to deal is so much. We said a while ago, the longer this game goes, the scarier it is for No Name.
Yeah, and they're going in for the funnel draft. Remember what we talked about a while ago in the pick and bans. They're going in for Seraphine. They're going in for Karma because they will have extra sustainability. They will have a lot of utilities to funnel in onto Ligon, to funnel in onto Nyx, to funnel onto these carries. And so far, it has proven them benefit in this game 1.
Yes, Indonesia is just too strong during this game. Most of the time, whenever they hit a hold from Zunisha, then the encores are really great, and that's why she could potentially be, if even if Ligon was the carry here, low-key, Zunisha was the one helping out the team so much just because she was able to get a lot of value with the low amount of CC that they had. It's like they had a lot of CC just because Zunisha was able to hit a lot.
Yeah, and on top of all that, Zanisha's damage was insane towards that mid game. Those roots like puts down the HP of Vex at half HP consistently
Yeah.
each and every single time, and that's just the power of this team. I think Roy Esports Ladies at this point, we're at the lower bracket and we're here to change history. We're here to change, what has become from the upper bracket where in No Name defeated us 2-0. We're here to change that.
Yeah, and we're here to put you down with us. And I think they are going to be putting down No Name if ever they have this momentum going into the second game. Because right now, with them just going for this late game composition and being left unpunished during the whole time, it was easy enough for them to get there. And I like the fact that Ligon and Nyx just were able to swoop in because Zanisha, like what you said, yes, with the items, with the CC that they hit after half HP, enough to swoop in. Even the Demotion Justice was scary at that point. And right there, I think No Name needs to change up a bit of their strategies.
All right, we'll see though how that would affect the draft, the picks and bans towards this game too. But for now, we're gonna take a short break, but don't go away because when we come back, it's match point towards Roy Esports Ladies. Welcome back, everyone, to the Wild Rift Open 5 by FSL, powered by Intel and Yahoo. My name is Infinity, and this is Dash. Once again, we are your casters of this tournament. And for this next game, we're already on match point Dash for Roy Esports Ladies.
And we've seen the power of Roy Esports ladies with their composition a while ago. Infinity did what this was really great. I was honestly doubtful at first because they don't have a lot of CC, but it didn't matter in the end. But right now, No Name needs to do some work. They need to adapt to what happened a while ago, and I hope that they would be able to so that we get into game 3. But right now, that's gonna be one of the things that they need to do. But what do you think about our next game, Infinity? What do you think are some adjustments that they need to do?
Okay, for the adjustments, the first thing that I'm seeing is that 22's confidence is
Mhm.
off the charts. It's off the roofs.
Definitely,
And
yeah.
I think when it comes to the game, when it comes to the Rift, if she's capable of going for the steals mid game, late game, going in for those dash smites up
Hmm.
against Roy Esports ADs, I think they could pivot themselves into a more late game champion in the
Yeah.
jungle. So I think that could be an option for them.
If she had the Yone or for example a Gwen during that time with the
Right.
confidence of their smite there, could have been great, right? Because that could have snowballed in their favor. Got the Drakes in their hands. They were able to get this into the late game, force the Elder Drake. It was enough. If 22 would be able to get the carry role or at least go for a more carry jungler on their hands like what you said, yeah, I think that is a good start for them to go for. And also their champion of choice should be more leaning towards aggressive parts because the Gragas onto the top lane, I think I really favor the Gragas more as a support just because even though the Gragas does have damage, does have the wave clear, doesn't give as much value if the Gragas won't be able to tank.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe Yone could be locked in later on because during the
Mm-hmm.
draft it was left open, no one to pick it up. Even
Yeah.
at the end of the game, no one was wanting to go for this specific champion. And as we've seen in the recent tournaments, that Yone could be used in the jungle. Right, we could also see like Zed being flexed in their role as well. So there are a lot of these
Mm.
options to be more flexible for these teams.
Honestly, yeah. But I really do favor the Yone a lot, Infinity, because the Yone, especially on other tournaments that we've seen, Yone is pretty strong. Whatever, and also what's great about the Yone is that whenever you have the Yone, he can go anywhere. He can go
Hmm.
basically on
Right.
3 lanes or 3 roles, and that's why the Yone, even if it's a first pick, it's still good. And also the Renekton. I was expecting the Renekton to get picked a while ago together with the Garen, just because those are safe laners. Could have been good picks.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see how that would change. But right now, we are nearing the picks and bans, and we have a lot of predictions. Dash, are we going to see it though?
Hmm. Are we gonna be seeing? Oh, wait a second. Infinity, we have an Ezreal.
Right. It is going to be locked in, and on top of all that, Dash, no Gwen, no Yone ban for this initial draft.
And they haven't picked it up even without the ban, which is why I'm pretty surprised. Because with this could have been a good angle for them to get the Yone Gwen, or maybe the plan is Infinity None would be taking them both. I hope so. I hope so.
I mean, it could be. I mean, it's left open. Yone could go into the jungle or be mid lane. Gwen could be on top lane or it could be jungle. So
Yeah.
these are still flexible picks, but instead they're pivoting towards Vi. They're going in for more of pickoffs and they're hovering onto Rakan.
Yeah. What I like about this though is that Roy Esports ladies are doubling down with what they did a while ago. If it does work, no need to fix it. Get some late game champions, get the Ziggs, get the Corki, get some form of wave clear, and try to work it out until you get to the later stages of the game. Shyvana has been banned. If they're looking for a champion that does the same thing as Shyvana, the Gwen or the Yone are the right picks here.
Yeah, we'll see though. Roy Esports ladies, they still need tanks. They still need frontliners. There is no option for
Sinzao.
Shyvana. And instead, with Shyvana being banned away, this could be an option for them. Xin Zhao being hovered.
Pretty surprised that they went in for the Shinzao against the Vi. This is the more classic mashup for the Shinzao and Vi to play fighting against each other, but the Shinzao does have the more aggressive, more early game oriented part here for the side of Roy Esports ladies. So they changed a bit of their composition. But 22 going for the Vi. What I like about the Vi is that the Vi has a lot of wave clear. It's gonna be easy for 22 to get whips compared to the Senzao. But the problem here is they have a lot of targets. I hope that 22 won't get bursted down when she goes for cease and desist on the back line.
Yeah, so we'll see though. But a very interesting ban that I'm seeing, Dash. They're removing Brand away from No Name.
Mm. They're trying to cut off their AP options, but there's still deluxe available for the side of No Name here. And they even banning the Seraphine because they don't want to get that pick by themselves. So interesting bans here for the side of Roy Esports ladies.
I mean, you could still pick up Karma. You could still pick up Gwen, Cassadine, Diana. These are options when it comes to the AP pool. For No Name, Renekton as well could be open. But Karma removed by No Name means that they're really looking for the targets onto the support potential for Roy Esports ladies.
If they want a mid laner here, could be, I mean, the Corki and the Sigs are already there. If they need a support, they have an option, which is the Gragas on the side of Roy Esports ladies. If they're going to be picking that up, that could be a good start here for them. Even if they go for the Nasus, it's okay. Because right now, this composition of Roy Esports ladies is way better than what they did a while ago. But they can work it out with more CC.
Yeah, and with Zed potentially being hovered though, Yone might be the first time that we're seeing it in this series in FSL Wild Rift Open 5.
Please. No! we're not gonna be seeing the Yone. But with their composition right here, having the Akali is pretty important to have. Yes, they have the Renekton. Yes, they have the Akali. Renekton is a great counter to the Akali, but what's great about the Akali is that there's 2 backline. Make that 3 together with the Yumi. So 20, or rather 18, does have a lot of targets to boot that she can just execute.
I'm loving this so far. We're seeing a Nezreal and No Name, and we're seeing Yumi for Roy Esports ladies. So this draft, a match point already for Roy Esports ladies. Take note, this is the lower bracket. If you lose this, you're gone. And so far, No Name has to put all in this game.
Yeah, pretty surprised here that they went for the Corki Yumi. Yes, they would not have a lot of threat in the bot lane, but if ever this reaches the late game, this Yumi is just gonna go really crazy if sticked with a Xin Zhao or the Renekton, because that would just enable them to engage way better than they're supposed to. So here on the other side, with set expectations, No Name, they need to get the same thing. Mid game should be theirs because they have a lot of mid game power, but the late game could still be on the hands of Roy Esports ladies.
Yeah, I mean, they have Corki, they have Ziggs, they have Yumi. These are all scaling champions, especially with Yumi going into the late game. There's damage, there's utility, there's heals. So expect a lot of things in this game number 2. And I'm really, really excited, Dash, to see how this would turn out. Is this going to be the end of No Name? Or is there still going to be a game 3?
I hope that there's still a game 3 for both of our teams, because honestly, what they've been performing is pretty great. I just hope that this assassins that they picked up for the side of No Name would be effective against Roy Esports ladies. They don't have a lot of ways to answer these assassins except for a stun from the Ruthless Predator. So that is something that they need to look forward to. Charms need to hit. Perfect executions would need to be perfectly executed, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that No Name needs to get those assassins working.
I mean, if you're looking at the gist of the draft of No Name, right? On top of what you stated, those charms need to connect. But if those connects, you have Sis and Desist to follow up. You have Zed.
Easy combo, yeah.
Not Zed, but Ari to, follow up when it comes to damage as well. There is a lot of single targeted CC that they could work around in terms of those team fights. And they could target onto Ziggs. They could target onto Corki, which are going to be the main key players for Roy Esports ladies.
Yeah, this is where the Yumi, the final chapter, and also the Crescent Guard would come into play. And that's what I'm really scared of here for No Name. They need to execute, but they need to be careful on who's around. Because if not, man, they could just be pushed away from what they want to do.
Yeah, and there we go. This series, lower bracket, can Roy Esports ladies change history? And so for Dash, while we're waiting, what's your favorite champion so far in patch 3.5?
Patch 3.5, I don't know, man. new champions have a soft spot in my heart, and I really
Ooh.
love Kane, especially on League of Legends PC. When Kane came out, he's like the coolest, most edgy character in the game, and right now he's here. And also, it's great that he's here in the game because he changes a bit of the things that the junglers need to think about because there's someone who
Mm-hmm.
can pass through walls. So yeah, I think he's my favorite right now. But what about you?
All right. Looking at Aatrox. Aatrox looks like a cool dude. You know,
Remember
the
Worlds?
Darkened
Yeah.
Blade. Yeah.
Remember Worlds? Yeah. Aatrox was the star of the show during
Uh-huh.
Worlds. So I
Yeah.
think everybody's excited to use the Aatrox.
Unfortunately, they are banned away though in this game or
Yeah,
in
they
this
can't be
tournament.
played.
So maybe next time we could see it happening. But for now, Roy Esports Ladies already got the first blood. We weren't able to see it in 1 minute. And so far, Zanisha has been wrecking havoc when it comes to the damage onto 21 and 23.
Not the best champions to go for an invade. And yes, they do have the charm, but they don't have the damage to follow it up. And that's a big punish onto 22. And giving a kill on a Renekton. Not the best thing to do, because this would be a big disadvantage for 18 on the top side.
Yeah, absolutely. Zanisha going to the mid lane though. So there's a lot going on in this game so far. And Roy Esports Ladies, from what we've talked about a while ago, they're not stopping. They're looking for that win.
Yeah, they want to start this off. And what's really great about this vibe pick right here, Infinity, is that with the vibe of 22.
Ooh. Satchel charge knocks up onto 22, has their treat. And so far, there's no trades or there's no conversion of kills for esports Ladies, but still, the punish is there. Push aside 22, push aside these champions, and get the advantage in lanes.
I forgot that Cat's name. A cat is using the cat, but oh, red entrance.
Yeah, there's so much damage. The exhaust is there onto 20 as well, but you have Ezreal as a very mobile champion, and it's no easy task for them to take that kill.
Not an easy feat to do on the bot side, and remember, 20 doesn't have enough damage until she gets the Manamune to the Sheen. So after she gets that, that is when she racks off against the Corki. But based on Wild Rift, I do believe that Corki and Ezreal are in equal terms and would not have a big kill threat in their lanes. So this is when the Corki benefits so much.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see how these champions are able to scale, are able to wreak havoc. And so far what we're seeing is Cat is prioritizing onto the anti-heals up against No Name. They're respecting this potential coming in from Rakan.
Yeah.
And it's just going to look quite scary towards that mid game, late game, wherein everyone has their ultimates ready. Everyone has their first items ready in this game.
Oh, season assist!
Going through, the CC is there, the charm to follow up, the CC chain is flawless, Zanisha's in danger, and there you go!
What a
The
crescent
trade,
guard!
the outplay from Ligon as they go for the respawn. They take the kill onto 22, and even then, Zanisha is back to safety.
This is what I'm saying about the Crescent Guard. That's scary. They thought they had the kill anyway. They forced the flash from Zanisha, but it was not enough to finish her. And Ligon had time to go in, and they were able to protect their mid laner. And that is such a big win in the mid lane.
Yeah, and if this continues to go through, remember what we talked about. No Name is looking for a mid game. Roy Esports Ladies is looking for a late game. But I think if Roy Esports Ladies are able to take a lot of these kills, late game is looking like mid game.
That's true. That's true. I really believe that. But Infinity, what I'm scared of though is that if ever Zanisha gets the rabbit and set cap as fast as she could, this would be really hard for No Name. Because remember, they're assassins. They need to get close. Once the Mega Inferno Bomb gets popped, and they won't be able to get away. Considering that almost all of them are very squishy, oh man, it's a really scary start for No Name.
Yeah, we'll see though. 15 seconds, Infernal Drake and the Rift Herald will spawn. And Roy Esports Ladies has their eyes on Akali. Look at their placements. They're going in for a depth rush.
Yeah. They want to wait for 22 to go in this Rift Herald, but now they're potentially starting off. They have division here in the side of Royal Esports Ladies, so they're not scared that they want to go for a fight here.
Yeah, and even then, it's a good zone coming in from Roy Esports Ladies. They
Nice
shove
package.
away Rakan, Ari, and Ezra in this fight.
Oh,
22
that
looks
was
to go for the
scary.
steal, looks to go for the contest. Will not be enough though, as that will take it down. Roy Esports Ladies removes the jungle for No Name as they take the Rift Herald. No trades are there. No Name looking for the Infernal Drake. The Mega Inferno Bomb will not secure it. As that will be it. A 1-for-1 trade in objectives.
Could have been scary, but referred onto the mid lane. This is a big win for Roy Esports Ladies. They won the game a while ago because they took down the mid lane, and I think they're going to be doing it again.
There's just so much map control that you can get. Quickness, but a grand entrance zone, triple man knockup coming in as Roy Esports Ladies is in danger, but instead, there's just so much sustainability from Yuumi, and Nyx just falls.
Great grand entrance from 21. Even if the Yuumi was there, it was not enough for them to survive that fight. But again, Roy Esports Ladies took down the mid lane turret, and that is a pretty important point of contention against No Name.
Yeah, and it opens up the map. It gives you a lot of map control, and Roy Esports Ladies once again secures this advantage, similar to game number 1. I've seen this before, Dash.
Yeah, I think if they get the second Rift Herald, that is when they need to be scared on the side of No Name. Because Roy Esports Ladies would be able to open up more of their maps, so they need to contest the next objective there. But right now, looking at the state of the items, I really like what I'm seeing from the side of No Name. Because even though they lost that tower, it's not that big of an advantage after the first objective.
Yeah, definitely right. Although, I really like what Renekton did there. She understands that she's on the weak side of the map, and there is no vision on the left quadrant jungle, so she has to play it safe. She has to respect the enemy team. And so far, Renekton was just playing it safe there. She went back, and this is the power that they need. And so far, Roy Esports Ladies is looking for another kill on the opposite side of the map. Now 22 looks to go to respond, but there is no more time. Legan is in danger, though stuck in the middle of 2 members of No Name.
Nice flash.
And Roy Esports Ladies pivot themselves into another perspective as they take 2 man down.
Legal lock up to the flash just for them to get that extra CC in order to kill 21. And now they got it. They want to take down the bottom lane turret. And that's a big advantage again because they have more space around the map. 4k gold lead at 8 minutes on the clock.
Fantastic plays coming from our Esports Ladies. They're going for more of a methodical play here for game number 2. They really want no things to be traded off, no value being taken by No Name, and they have 3k gold lead in 8 minutes into the matchup.
Yeah, 8 minutes into the match, got lots of kills, 4 kills on the board for Roy Esports Ladies, and they're slowly getting into their item breakpoints. I would like to see, if ever, that this Legon would be able to build up the Divine Thunder as fast as they could, and if ever Nyx would be getting the items that they need. I think Essence River is a great item already, but 20 needs to get that second item. If they get the second item, they might have a chance for this next Rift Herald.
Yeah, oh, definitely. We're looking for the Iceborne Gauntlet, now locked in by 20. As you stated, this is important as a power spike for 20 to deal damage, and on top of that, deal CC as well.
Yeah, with the slow, this could potentially be a harder fight for Roy because they have Legon, they have a lot of champions who actually just walk. So this is going to be a big advantage for 20 as long as she hits her mystic shots. So 10 seconds of the clock, they're setting up some vision on the top side of the map. But the problem here is we do have all the ultimates up, and we have the package also up. So they have a lot of ways to make space for the team.
This is going to be a 4v4 though. Renekton is nowhere to be found. Ari as well still trying to catch up. But right now, Roy Esports Ladies
nice
is looking at a dangerous spot as No Name go in as they take the Rift Herald away from Roy Esports Ladies into the backside. Akalia looks to go for the engage, but instead she falls down. That's a 2 kill for Roy Esports Ladies as they take it down for the punish up against No Name.
Great steal from 22, but right now they can't steal. Oh, the stun!
Stun onto Ezreal, uses up the flash to go back to safety for 20. Will not secure it, but burns up a huge value summoner spell.
They got what they needed. They got the refill, and we said it a while ago, Infinity. They need to take the next refill on the side of No Name because they would get away with a lot of things if they got that refill again. Because remember, they have the Ziggs under composition, and that makes it easier for them to take down towers. With this, they denied that pressure, and they put the refill onto the top lane so that it's enough time for it to get to the top side before the Drake.
Yeah, and that's quite clever. As you've stated, the Ocean Drake is there. So if Roy Esports ladies goes for this objective, they are going to potentially lose their tier 1 turret top. So we'll see how this would turn out though. Ocean Drake is now there, and Roy Esports ladies is now starting.
They're willing to risk it. Ocean Drake now on half HP, and 22 is nowhere in sight. And I think this is going to be an easy Drake for them, but at least they get a tower in the top side.
Yeah, and Renekton is there, pivoting themselves into defending the top lane, losing one turret already though. So a huge injection of gold onto 18.
So large charge blade to the Essence River. This is going to be a scary Nyx that we're seeing right now. And Roy Esports ladies, they're confident after taking this, they would be able to get the advantage here. So right now, what we want to see here is that No Name find some kills. They have some shutdown goals of Roy Esports ladies. That is something that they need to go for.
Yeah, although I'm scared. I don't think they're going to be able to pierce through the defenses of Roy Esports ladies that easily.
Yeah.
3.5k gold lead for Roy Esports, scaling so hard towards the late game, and they have Yuumi on top of all that.
Yeah. And what's scary though, Infinity, is that they even have the Crescent Guard and 3 range champions, basically 2 range champions, and that's most of the chunk of their damage. So that's why Roy Esports ladies are just confident that even if Ligon makes some mistakes, she can still get away with it just because she has the Crescent Guard, and it works pretty effectively. Right now, with a 3k gold lead, No Name is slowly following through with the gold gap.
Yeah. They need to connect those CCs. They need to connect the damage. And now 1v1 into the rift. It's Renekton versus Akali. But Ligon uses up the ultimate. The Crescent Guard is there. The follow-up by No Name makes it so that they're able to put down Ligon.
Our ultimates are down, Infinity. So this could potentially be a chance for Roy Esports to find something off of those resources that were used against Ligon and the Renekton. Right now, they're trying to back away, try to reset up, and actually lick their wounds after that fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's overconfidence from Roy Esports ladies. I think what they're thinking is, you know what, perhaps we have a lot of gold lead, we have a lot of advantage, maybe we could do a 2v2, but instead you have No Name just quickly going in for the full 5-man response, and Roy Esports couldn't do anything out of that.
I just hope that they would have been able to, but with the package already in their hands, Nyx wants to use this to take a kill or take some space around the map. I think the best answer here for Roy Esports ladies is just to try to take down a tower in the mid lane, just for this package to, just for them to work out this package.
Yeah, we'll see though. Because right now there are no objectives aside from the Baron Nashor, and Roy Esports ladies once again this 2-man roam on the jungler and on the Baron Nashor, or well, Baron laner rather. They're really looking for those kills, and I think this is a good combo. It's in Jao Renekton because both of them had single targeted CCs with a knockup and stuns, but
yeah,
how are they going to apply the CCs up against No Name?
Yeah, that's what we need to think about here though, because especially the Ruthless Predator, they just need to get onto the backline. The biggest target that they can go for is going to be 20. But when they do that, the problem is there's 2 assassins also on the side of No Name. It wouldn't be easy. They can get to the backline pretty easily. So they need to be more defensive. And that's why Roy Esports ladies haven't been finding any fights, because they know that the assassins could potentially take down their backline anytime that they go for a fight.
Yeah, and in similar manner, No Name is playing quite defensively and playing quite patiently as well. They're looking for the right time. They're looking for the right opportunities, and this might be it. 22 stuck in the middle. Now Grand Entrance, double man knock up. Roy Esports ladies is in danger, but Yuumi with the final chapter roots onto one of these champions. No Name has the lead as they take in charge.
What was that?
What? In the front lines, the charm from 23 makes it so that Roy Esports ladies is still there, and they get to punish 22. They get to punish 21. It's a lot of members down from No Name.
Oh, the blast cone too. The audacious charge, but oh, bot lane.
Ooh, so much damage coming from Necton.
Yeah. One more Cultimate might be the end of it though, Infinity, so they need to fight or at least get away from the bot lane. I think this mid lane is gonna be taken down. Look at that damage from Zunisha.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And this is what we're talking about, right? Before the game one has started, before even the series have started, we're looking at Ziggs to be a huge evergreen champion in this patch to deal so much damage. And we're seeing that damage potential in this game too.
Yeah, she's a very big threat. Just because No Name doesn't have any front line to deal with her. Yes, there's an assassin on their hands, but so far I haven't seen any successful breach of the defenses, especially that Roy Esports ladies have been going front to back time and time again. But this composition from No Name was supposed to be geared towards a front to back composition, but so far they haven't executed it as well as we expect.
We'll see. Roy Esports City starting the Mountain Dragon, and No Name has information. And they're going to pivot. They're going for the contest. And they're going through to the backside. Final chapter in the back. Going in for the root. As Roy Esports Lady still secure the Mountain Drake. And now 18 has to force out the flash. Going in for the bombs. They secure a Kali. That is already a double kill. And Roy Esports Ladies, time and time again, they punish.
2 for 1. Roy Esports ladies again getting onto the back line. No Name tried to go for a steal, but they stopped 22 on their tracks. And now they got the Drake that they need. Right now, even with G people, they still need to be careful around here.
Oh, that was so close. Although, pivot themselves opt to back away for Roy Esports ladies.
Yeah, and with the Hull Breaker onto the Renekton, they can go to the bot lane. I think try to take down a tower. But with that win from that fight, they got an 8k goal lead just because of that. And with the Baron slowly being a meaty target or a candy that they need to go for, just need to set up some waves, set up some vision, and they can start this if they want to.
Now, Dash, what does No Name have to do to make it back in this game? Because so far 3-11 is not a kill standing that you can come back from that easily.
All I can see, Infinity, is that I've been saying it since a while. Like, cease and desist, get to the back line with both of the assassins. 20 and 21 are very self-serving. They can do what they want, and they will survive. As long as they get Zunisha or Nyx, this would be a fight in favor of No Name. Because they're the biggest chunks of damage that they have on Roy Esports ladies.
Alright, we're looking at Zunisha and Nyx to be the target by No Name. We're looking at 22 and 21 to be able to implement such a strategy for this team. And so far, 21's HP is not looking that great, but 23 into the backside uses up the charm, saves his edge to buy time though. Yumi goes and pivots onto Nyx, but this is desist onto Zunisha. They take her down in trade for 23 and 21. However, Renekton into the backside goes for the flank. The stun is there. Exhaust to follow through to this engage, but No Name. It's just so much of a disadvantage. They have to go back, and even if they kill Zunisha, they lost 2 members in the process.
Zunisha was able to throw the Mega Inferno bomb and all her skills onto 21 and 23. They weren't expecting that to happen, that amount of damage that she would deal. Even if she's gonna die, she's gonna be taking both of those people down with her. And now that gives them an opening for this.
22 looking to contest, but Vault Breaker back away, not going to pull through as Roy Esports ladies goes back and retreat.
What's great about that, Infinity, bot lane tower has been taken down because of that. Even with the distraction, they had the info here for No Name, but they didn't get anything out of it.
Yeah, from a few minutes back, we only saw an 8k gold lead coming from Roy Esports ladies. At this point in time, it's already scaling at the 10k gold lead for this team. And they're on a position of success. They're on a position of winning this series in the lower bracket.
They can win this if they want to, Roy. They just need to make sure that they won't make any big mistakes, because one mistake could be a big shutdown or shutdown golds for the side of No Name. So that is what they're looking for. They need to prowl. They're waiting for that chance for their prey to actually look back. So Roy Esports ladies, they just need to move forward. Move forward. Their eyes need to be in front, because if not, No Name might be able to swoop in.
What will be the priorities here, though? Baron Nashor is alive. Elder Drake will come up on 5 seconds. What do you think, Dash?
Elder Drake is the meatiest objective in the game, Infinity, because you know, the execute just makes it easier for you to win more fights. So that is what they're gonna be prioritizing this for Roy Esports. I think if they don't even prioritize this Baron, it's okay. No Name has a chance though. If they try to take the Baron, they can hold off that Elder Drake buff. But looking at what they're doing, they also want to contest it.
Yeah, I think they don't want to give anything away from Roy Esports ladies that they've already gotten. It's already so much of a disadvantage for them. So far, we'll see though. The vision game of No Name is exceptional, but Roy Esports ladies is clearing these wards out, and Elder Drake is being started by Roy Esports ladies.
No
22
vision.
is just around the corner.
Oh,
well,
22.
They now have it. 3k HP onto the Elder Drake.
Stopping.
23 into front lines. 22 going in for the Vault Breaker.
Stopping.
Readying up. The smite is there. Roy Esports ladies takes the Elder Drake. And now they have the advantage. They're going through and through to take those kills. 22 and 21 is down. 23 to follow up. As Roy Esports ladies go for the execute. They take 4 kills. And they're looking to finish the game.
With the Elder Drake, this is going to be the end of the game, and Roy Esports ladies with the Crescent Guard was a great icing on top of the cake for Legon to take that, but top lane, I think 18 is still not done.
They're holding back, they're holding on, they're looking for that last breath of hope, but Roy Esports ladies is looking for the Nexus. Shuriken Flip will not connect, and this is GG as Roy Esports ladies change history up against No Name.
They end the game, and Roy Esports ladies was able to get a 2-0, a revenge against their adversaries. No Name is gonna fall, and Roy Esports, what a great setup, and what a great game from them.
What a series. But we talked about history. No Name has defeated Roy Esports ladies 2-0 in the upper bracket, but now in the lower bracket, things are different. Stories have changed and histories have been made. Dash, this is the series that Roy Esports ladies are looking for. They're looking for that second spot once again in FSL.
We have known that Roy Esports ladies is a good team by themselves. And right now, they just proved that. They lost to No Name before on the upper bracket, but even in the lower bracket, Roy Esports ladies knew how to adapt, know how to deal with No Name, and with these compositions that they put out, they know how to play around the early game composition that No Names have been doing, and that's why this late game comp tried to stay up to the late game, tried to break their tempo, and they were able to.
Yeah, and No Name was on a ticking time bomb. Roy Esports ladies scaled pretty well, and that is a literal term because Zanisha. Look at Zanisha's damage, 26,778. So far, the biggest among every single one from her team rather, and their enemy team.
Yeah, I just thought that they would be doing more with the comps. I thought that the assassin composition was a nice touch, honestly, for the side of No Name, but they weren't able to execute Zunisha and Nyx, which are the key targets here for the side of Roy Esports ladies. And I think I would like to commend Cat too. That's the reason why it was super hard for them to get to the back line.
Yeah, and on top of all that, I also want to commend Legon and Renekton in that fight because those frontliners disabled the potential for No Name to be able to access the backlines, to be accessing Zanisha, these carries of Roy Esports ladies. And so far, when it comes to the overall composition of Roy Esports ladies, they have proven themselves to be a strong team in FSL.
Yeah, and going to the backline, Legon also. And also Zanisha. Zanisha performed so well during the past 2 games. And I think she would be a great key for the team here, especially when it comes to those big, what do you call this? Big impact champions like the Ziggs and the Seraphine a while ago.
Yeah, and it's a consistent damage dealer. Game 1 and Game 2, one of the highest damage dealers across the board for all games. And this just states, the power of Zanisha on this team.
Yeah, that's why right now I think Zanisha could potentially just help out the team. And No Name, I mean, still have a chance for the next time. But right now, we are going to be moving forward for our bracket, Infinity. And we're going to be seeing more of Roy Esports ladies.